Hey guys, welcome to the Super Show. I'm Chris, that's Alyx, and that's Jamie, and we are a podcast about games.
We sure are.
So just diving right into that kind of information for your ears.
Sometimes
What an efficient intro.
Indeed, we wander into other areas sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
But
we stray.
we-
Not today, monsieur. Not today.
That is a bold claim at this
We're absolutely going to stray today.
You've already told me that you're going to mention something which has nothing to do with games, which is a movie you watched on Netflix.
Why don't you just stop with the spoilers, okay? Yes, we may be talking about movies. Okay, we're not chained to gaming anymore.
This is true.
If you didn't know,
I'm actually chained to games.
yeah,
Yeah.
physically.
Yeah, physically.
I can see there's a copy of the
how
Saboteur.
Kratos has the chains wrapped around his arms. I'm like that, and I just have a PS Vita hanging from each arm.
Yes, Vita.
Smashing people in the head with them from a distance.
Absolutely.
Quality. Jones is the same, but he's got the PSP Go.
Oh, Vita. You have to be different, don't you?
I didn't say it.
Yeah, you do.
Classic Jones.
Anyway.
I did have a PSP.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All that good, saucy stuff. But we are also on a podcast platform, hopefully of your choice, which is Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts, as well as a few others, Castbox, Deezer. Who gives a shit?
I'm going to say if their choice isn't any of those, then you've made the wrong choice.
Well, there we go.
Find a different platform, you numpty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also follow us on social media, on Twitter and Instagram, at SuperShowPod. And the last little bit of information before we get into the juicy juice of it all is we are fully funded at this point by our lovely patrons.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
we're partially funded by our lovely patrons. The rest of it is us funded, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Until we withdraw that money from Patreon, we're not funded at all. But yes, if you would like to support the Super Show, please go and check our Patreon, which is patreon.com/supershow. It's on screen right now. And hey, as part of that, we got some patrons already, and they are gracious enough to give us some money. So we are gracious enough to put their names on the screen.
They're the crazy fools who keep the lights on.
Hell yeah. So big shout outs go to everybody that supports us. But
Of course.
in particular, Angus McChilly, Brett Zerbrig, and Terry Spence, with the big man Skylar Music being a very gracious person.
Thanks, fellas.
That's why his name
Cheers,
is Big,
guys.
because they rock.
You're keeping the lights on at the moment, and there are a lot of them.
Well,
Maybe if we turned off a few of these lights.
We might have to lower the brightness next week, depending on how many more people sign up.
bills,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Jesus. Okay, cool. Well, today we're going to do something a little bit different, right? Because the podcast has been going for, this is the 6th episode now? And
sure.
it's been going okay.
Has it been going that long? That's like a month and a half.
Yeah.
You could tell me this was the 3rd episode, I'd believe you.
Yeah, me too.
It's the 2nd episode.
You know what they say, Chris? Time flies when you're having fun.
That's a fucking lie, because I hate sitting here with you guys. No, I'm joking. A bit strong. So
Definitely a lie.
while we came out of the podcast, we're like, yeah, this is good. It felt good, but maybe it's a little bit too structured, because after the podcast recordings, we usually record some Patreon only podcasts. Which, hey, if you're a patron of a certain amount, it's open to you. But those are a lot more relaxed, and I think, you know what? Let's try and inject some of that relaxedness into our podcast. And so,
Can I tell them? So we are from now on, half the podcast is going to be a 3-man a cappella singing group.
I was singing just before we started recording.
what were you singing?
Baby got back.
I was singing Roxanne.
Oh, Roxanne.
No, you were Roxanne. That's what you. And Baby got
Roxanne's a great song. That's like a go-to karaoke song for me. There's two songs.
Really? You
No,
can't
three
hit
songs.
those notes. You
Three
can't
songs.
hit
Of
those
course I
notes.
can.
No,
I'm
you
not gonna
can't.
do it now, 'cause
So
that's
prove it.
Stretch goal.
Prove it.
No.
back. Stretch goal.
I can do a cartwheel, I just don't want to. It
One-handed cartwheel.
doesn't work like that.
Well, it is. So Roxanne was one of them. Beyonce, was it sexy girl? What's the? I don't even remember the fucking.
Sexy girl.
Sexy everything. I don't know.
Oh
Anyway.
no, that's not Beyonce, is it?
No, there's a
Yeah,
Beyonce one that's like it. But anyway,
I
Drunk
don't
in
know.
Love.
no.
No,
That's crazy in love.
We want pre-depression Beyonce, not
Yeah.
after Jay-Z cheated on her and every song became about look how sad and miserable I am.
Yeah, we're talking about like her cheek clapping days.
Pre-lemonade,
Clapping
whatever it's
days.
called.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
my number one go-to karaoke song.
Oh god, Celine Dion,
No,
Whitney.
no,
God,
Hit us, go on.
it's gonna be bad.
it's Cocaine.
What's that?
It's
By-
not Bryan Adams. What's his face? Fuck.
The old dude.
Yeah, the old.
Is it the one whose son ran out of a window?
Eric Clapton? Isn't
Yeah, Eric Clapton.
How's it go? I don't know the song.
it? If you wanna get high and you wanna
Oh.
ride cocaine.
Oh, I have heard it.
Hell yeah!
I did not
The
expect
only
that.
Eric
That is the
Clapton.
coolest- yeah, because you see what you've got Roxanne, which is the high notes, and you've got Cocaine,
Yeah.
which is the gruff notes.
I like it.
But anyway, it's not karaoke podcast, is it?
I'm not a karaoke
Well, you've made it a
person.
bit of a karaoke
Listen, I said
podcast.
we're gonna
You've sung twice now.
We're going to diverge from the usual, all right? We're still going to talk about games, but I thought today, let's all bring one piece of item-style news that we would like to talk about.
Yeah, maybe spark a discussion. Who
Yes.
knows?
But as usual, before we get into that, let's see what we've been playing. Let's gather it all up, because I'm going to start this time. I have played a little bit of Hollow Knight and nothing else. What about you, Guy?
Oh God, I think we better go to Jonesy.
All right, hold on. But before we get to you guys, I'm going to say this, okay?
Yeah.
Last week I said that by next week I would have hoped to have finished
The Last of
The
Us.
Last of Us.
And not even finished. He's not even started.
I haven't even started. All best
whole
intentions.
week.
All best intentions.
Actually, I'm not going to criticise, and you'll know
come
why in
on,
a
come on.
second.
All best intentions, but I've been seriously busy this week.
The
But I
road
will.
to hell is lined with good intentions, Chris.
That's the one, yeah. So fuck me. I will get there. I might not finish it by next week, but I'm hoping
You
at
won't
least to
have
be
started
halfway.
it.
No,
Yeah.
I'd put money on you not having started it by next week.
Really? How much?
Actually, no, I'm not going to put money on it because I know your life is about to change in 2 days' time, and you probably will start it, but I don't think you'll finish it.
I also don't think I'll finish, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
But besides that, what I did want to speak to you guys about is the movie that you alluded to that I saw the other day, which was a Netflix original.
Yes.
It's Dolomite Is My Name with good old Eddie Murphy,
The comeback.
the comeback king, and it's a fun film, man. It's the feel good film of the year.
Yeah, I heard very positive things. I just didn't know anything about it when it came out, so I was like,
Me neither, and it's really good. I say like it's funny, it's charming, it's well made, and I was just thinking about like movies lately, and it's just like, why do so many movies just not make any fucking sense these days? It's almost like they've thrown out the
Okay.
rule book of like, hey, establish, develop, and fulfill your characters, or you know, have a character arc, or have a story begin and end. It's like that shit doesn't happen anymore, and it fucking annoys me.
Right.
Whereas like it was just refreshing to have this film come out. It's like, yeah, this is a story about how he got it made. Like this is how he struggled. This is where he like started it. This is then like the vacuum, the problem he had, and this is how he overcame it. At the end, it was like fucking great.
I think a big problem with the movie industry in general, and you know what, more creative industries like games and stuff, I think have the same problem, is that it's become too much about the money, son.
Money bitches.
And they try and think of the ways that they can make money, the ways they can make as much money as possible, like marketing budgets that are bigger than the cost of like the production budget of
Yeah.
the film.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't put the creative endeavor first.
No.
So when they do, I think we all get excited.
Which, fair enough, is what this movie was about. It's almost the opposite of that, saying, hey, we don't have much of a budget. Let's just fucking film this Dolomite film as guerrilla as we fucking can. And
I have not seen it, but it sounds cool.
It's so good,
I
man.
saw some stuff about it and Eddie Murphy talking about it.
Yes.
It sounds pretty
It's
wicked.
really good. And yeah, a lot of people have been touting it as a return of Eddie Murphy. And he was really good in it. You know who else was in it? It was a really fucking good surprise because he was excellent in it.
I don't know who.
Wesley Snipes.
no shit.
Yeah!
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Wes.
Out of jail and back at work.
He must have got out of jail years ago.
No, he did.
He
But I-
lost the plot, didn't he?
Yeah,
What
I think he
happened
got
to
out of
him?
jail and he did some like straight to DVD kind of movies. But
Yeah.
now he's going to straight to Netflix.
He
movies, so-
did do one thing that I thought was very funny. Do you remember the movie What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes.
Which was a mockumentary about vampires
Yes,
living
yeah.
in the modern day. So they made a TV show spin-off
Oh, yes,
of What We Do
yeah,
in the
that was
Shadows.
excellent, yeah.
And there's a scene in the TV show spin-off where they're having like a meeting of all the vampires, and they somehow got some high-profile people to be there, like Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
Excuse me, was in that scene, and there's a laptop sat there, and it's Wesley Snipes skyping in to the vampire
that's cool.
meeting.
That's pretty cool.
Did
Because Blade is-
Did he actually do it? Or
Oh
did-
yeah, it's
Yeah,
actually him. Yeah.
Dude, I think he's at the point in his career where he's like, yeah, I'll fucking do anything.
He's probably still paying off tax bills or some shit like that. Like
Yeah,
that stuff doesn't go away.
'Cause that's what did him in.
Yeah,
right?
that's why he
Tax
went
evasion.
away.
I think the fame got to him a bit, didn't it? Because he was seemed to be fine in like the 90s, like end of the 80s, obviously 90s. He was
Messenger
fine.
57.
And then he
Fuck,
smashed
let's
it,
fucking
but then he got to the point where I think people have even said, like on set, he didn't really give a fuck.
Yeah, you want to hear
Oh,
like
yeah.
horror stories from set. Find someone talking about it's like a podcast or maybe there's a video on YouTube talking about working with Wesley Snipes on Blade Trinity.
Yes,
It got
yeah.
to the
I've
point
heard, yeah.
where he'd only come out of his trailer for close-ups, and he wanted his stunt double to do everything else. Everything else.
I think I heard as well that it was basically like his trailer was just hotboxed the entire time, and it was just, they were just smoking
Perfect.
weed and,
Which
like,
kind
doing
of sucks
daily.
because I like the first two Blade movies so much that I really
yeah.
want Wesley Snipes to be a cool dude. And if he's a bit of a dick, that kind of
But
That sucks.
If memory serves, it wasn't that he was a bit of a dick. It was that he was contractually obliged to do it, and he didn't want to do it, and he said he didn't, and then he kind of was made to do it. Maybe I'm making that up. But I'm
Plus,
pretty sure
I
it's
feel
right.
like that was also the point where they were like, well, Wesley Snipes is still Blade, but also let's put Ryan Reynolds in this and kind of make it more about him than it probably should be.
Yeah.
And the comedy outside of it completely killed it for me.
Yeah.
thought
I think
it was
Triple H was in that movie.
He is.
Yeah, he was in it.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh shit, man! Like, I remember Blade 1 came out and everyone was raving about it, so I went to go see it in the cinema. I was like, hey, you know what? This is a fun film. Fine. But when Blade 2 came out, though, I was like, fuck, this is fucking cool. The thing that helped the original Blade film, though, was that fucking song at the start of the
In the
start of the
club.
film. Yeah.
That club scene's wicked when
Yeah,
he goes
but that,
Yeah.
I remember that track was huge in South Africa when I was in high school. It was like, yeah, fucking go.
Blade 2. Sorry, go on.
Also, I was going to say, I remember watching Blade for the first time, and it's at the very start of the movie when they're driving to that club.
Yeah.
And the guy asks, like, where are we going? And she says, like, you'll steal something. And she squeezes his dick. And I remember watching it, and I was young enough to think, what the fuck? Why is she squeezing his willy? What are these two doing?
And then Jamie tried it, and that was the start of his
Pair of clowns.
masturbation career.
No, I waited until the blood orgy started, and then that was the start
and then
of
he
my
started
masturbation.
jacking it, yeah.
As soon as Wesley Snipes' boots were in frame, I was like, oh, baby.
Time to jack.
Break out the KY jelly.
Jeez.
Which one was the Mark Goss one? Was that the third? Was that the third one?
Mark Goss.
Was that the first one?
Who's
you
Mark
know,
Goss?
Bros from Bros.
Oh, from Ross. That's
Oh,
Blade
shit.
2.
Yeah.
That's
Because he
good.
works with Guillermo del Toro a
Yeah.
lot.
Right, because he also had Danny John Jules, who was in 2 as well. I think.
Sure.
Who's the cat from Red Dwarf?
I've never
Oh,
seen
right.
Red
Oh,
Dwarf.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the guy at the beginning where they have the really awful CGI fighting in front of the lights.
All right.
And then
Hey,
him and-
that scene was cool, though.
It was awful. They look like they're made of rubber.
No, but
They were
like,
bendy.
conceptually.
Do you know what it's like the scene from the second Matrix movie
I
where
knew
they
you were going
switched
to
to
go
CG
there.
and
The
it looks
fucking burning
no.
roll is so bad.
I didn't want to bring up the Matrix because we talk about it too much, but do you know what I did do
this is
this
actually a
last
Matrix
week?
podcast.
Watch the Matrix.
I didn't watch the Matrix. I went one step further.
Oh,
I went
into
on,
the Matrix.
No, I went on YouTube on my PS4 and typed in the Matrix 4K and just watched 4K clips from the Matrix and just picked out my favorite scenes.
Fair
And I was
enough, yeah.
reminded that there's some really good music in the Matrix.
There is
yeah,
some great
yeah.
music in the
And then most of it sounds like this. Do 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 boom ba dum ba dum boom dum ba
Very
dum ba
bass
dum
heavy.
ba dum. Shung dun 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 dun.
That is exactly how. I think that's one of the tracks.
That's the song for the beginning of the.
Hell
Are they in a bank?
yeah.
with the bomb? Well,
no,
the
but it's the one
lobby
where they
shootout.
yeah,
the lobby
Oh,
shootout.
yeah.
Where it goes,
I don't know if it's a
could you
bank, I
move
don't
all metallic objects, keys, loose change?
Fuck! Holy shit!
Was it shit? Or was he saying?
And I was looking up the sort of learning a little bit more about the production of The Matrix 4, which is about to start filming next month, I believe. Interesting to see how that kind of came to pass. Because one of the Wachowskis, this is going to sound really mean, but the one that used to be Andy, and I think is now Lily,
I don't know.
Sure.
is not involved.
Yeah, it's only one of them.
They basically, from the second season of the Netflix show they did, Sense8,
Sense8,
they've not been working together. And now they're
Did they
doing
ever
separate
falling
stuff.
out or something?
I don't think so. I think they just wanted to go their separate ways. And
Fair enough.
the one that was Larry and is now Lana did the season 2 of Sense8 on her own and is now doing The Matrix 4 on her
You
own.
must get to the point where you're just like, do you know what? We've been working together for a long enough time. I just want to do my own thing. I want to branch out.
Yeah.
Also, they've made a lot of shit, and they've made some weird shit, and maybe it's about time.
Yeah.
When Jamie and I were working on all-time movies, something dawned on me in terms of all of their filmography, is that each one of their stories is about someone being something but wanting to be something else. Mm-hmm. Like every single one of their films,
Right.
and I thought that was really kind of like telling in a way.
Okay.
Even because there were lots of rumors at the time. Do you remember around films like, I think the prime example is
V for
V for Vendetta,
yeah.
when it was very strange. They were writing films, but the person that was directing them, quote unquote, was formerly their first AD.
Yeah.
Who was
then it
now
came out
also.
that they-
they were basically undergoing these. I think they were in the
Oh, I
early stages
see.
of transition and were kind of shying away from the
Or
limelight, kind
apparently
of
they were
post Speed
directing
Racer.
it from the back of some kind of a fucking van and just
Yeah.
giving the dude orders.
Yeah, but of course that was.
the dude's like, oh, everyone thinks I did it, and now they've come out and gone, not really. We
What
just
was the
told
other
them."
film that was made that way? It was like Ninja Assassin or something like that.
Oh,
that was the
fuck,
same thing,
yeah.
that they were involved and that the V for Vendetta guy directed.
Fucking
but,
Ninja Assassin.
and then
Fuck
they finally, what did they were kind of got to a place where they wanted to come out again, and they did Cloud Atlas, which some people liked.
that. Before that they did Speed Racer.
Speed Racer, which
right.
again, a cult film. But the one I was going to say that I forgot was that it's that super big budget sci-fi film with Channing Tatum where he's got pointy ears.
Oh god.
What was that called?
Oh,
Jupiter something?
Jupiter
Ascending.
Ascending.
Yeah, that was them.
You saw that and you liked
I
it.
quite liked it. I thought it was alright.
That was so you must be looking forward to the next Matrix film.
Yeah,
Are you not looking
I'm
for-
happy to see that.
Dude, like looking back at those 3 films, and it's like, yeah, actually 2 and 3 are kind of trash. Like you like them, but they were kind of trash.
I'm not gonna say trash.
But there's something about like slapping the name The Matrix on something, and I'm just instantly
The
interested.
first
in
one
it.
was that good.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing I'm undecided about is that you look at the cast that's confirmed. They've made some interesting castings in terms of new people to the franchise, but obviously we know now that Keanu Reeves is coming back, Carrie-Anne Moss is coming back. I think Lawrence Fishburne isn't. The Merovingian has done an interview saying he's coming back.
Okay.
But the one that was weird...
It's just like, how's this going to be set? Because obviously Neo fucking died.
Right, exactly. And the other thing that was really strange, and it says this on I think Wikipedia if you look it up, is that they approached... I think Hugo Weaving was interested in reprising Agent Smith. They approached him, offered him the role. He couldn't do it. And on Wikipedia, the current wording is that they wrote him out. And I was like, hang on a second. You don't just have a story that has Agent Smith in it. Then you go, oh...
him out.
What do you mean write him out?
I'm
Did you
glad
replace
that he's
him?
not
Or?
in it though. I don't.
But then why is Neo in it?
But I think
What did Neo die for?
But I think Neo could be, because you've basically got a thing where you've got a big computer system and you can easily say, oh, this person was saved in the code of the whatever. You can easily get around that in any way.
I think I've said it before, and maybe in a podcast either on the ATG Super Show or this Super Show, but saying that I always thought the really cool way to end the Matrix was to say, when Neo like sacrifices himself or whatever, and then the Matrix gets wiped out and everyone kind of wakes up, and then it's just the 2 programs left in the Matrix. Was it like the Oracle and
the Architect?
the Architect?
I don't know.
And I was like, how quality would it be if Neo walked up and sat down there as well? It's like, oh, he was a program this whole time, and he was just in the shell of a body.
Maybe they'll just do some Star Wars shit where it's like a hologram. He's there to guide whoever
Or no,
the
just
new.
a crawl saying like, the spirit of Neo has been sending broadcasts.
Or just they hear the voice in the head like the most recent Star Wars.
You were saying that, and I did think that it wouldn't surprise me at all if Neo's not the main character and he is a program in the Matrix, because they even say in the second one that the person who they can rebuild it in their own image and they make the new Matrix to be a better version where people feel happier, blah blah blah. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's a program inside the Matrix.
He uploaded his consciousness or something through those fucking spikes that went through his body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
maybe.
They've got to have they can't do the same story again.
Hey.
Again, take it with a pinch of salt, but apparently what got Warner Brothers to greenlight the project, because Warner Brothers cut ties with the Wachowskis after, I think it was after Jupiter Ascending or something like that, but what got them to greenlight it was Keanu Reeves being cool again. And apparently,
What do you mean again? Dude's always been
quality of the
always been
script.
cool.
Well, box office cool, let's say,
So and the quality of the
and the
script.
quality of the script.
Yeah, but,
That's,
hold on.
I mean,
that doesn't mean
yeah,
anything these
exactly.
days, I mean, fucking
It
hell.
means nothing.
All right. Anyway, games.
Games. Do you want to know why I was so happy to talk about the Matrix for so long?
Yeah.
Because I don't think I haven't really played anything. I've been kind of really slacking on the game front.
Man, this is bad. When you haven't played, because
No,
I always count on you to kind of fill
Well,
out the section.
I guess let me clarify that I've been playing games in the same way I'm always playing games. I haven't played anything new.
Yeah.
I am ready to. I'm about to start playing two things. Kentucky Route Zero, which came out at the time of recording on Tuesday. No, I haven't got it yet. Yeah. But of course, that's now complete. All the episodes have been released, and it's on consoles.
You gonna get it on Switch?
I might just do it on PS4. Yeah. Because I don't know, it probably would work as a Switch game, but I just want to sit there and get it done. And sometimes I'm bad with my Switch because you can just put it on standby and put it down, and I don't know. I don't feel as in when I'm playing a Switch game.
When you're not, if you're doing a lot of traveling, the Switch is perfect. If you're kind of at home, then you're kind of like, why would I play my Switch at home?
Because I do it in bed.
I was gonna say unless you go to the toilet.
I do it in bed as well.
I do it in bed, but the shit thing is, you kind of say to yourself, all right, I'll do all of this other shit, and then I'll play my Switch in bed, right? And then you get into bed, you switch on your Switch. It's like, no, I don't have any battery. It's like, fuck.
that is well annoying when you. And then you think, oh, I've just got to leave it plugged in for 5 days and then it'll recharge.
Yeah, because it charges so slowly. It's not quick. Anyway, yeah.
Do you want to know the other thing?
What was the other one? Yeah.
I was gonna save this till I guess it would have been next week and when I'd actually played it, but I took a plunge on something completely random, and I'm really curious to see how it works out. Basically, there was a thing that came out last year, and when we all saw the trailer, we laughed at how weird it looked. Yeah. And then it kept getting kind of positive press. The reviews kept being good. It kept popping up at the end of the year. And it got to the point, I know kept hearing it was sold out everywhere. It got to the point where I was like, I've got to look into this thing. Do you remember Ring Fit Adventure?
Oh yes!
No.
Did you get it?
I bought Ring Fit Adventure.
What the hell is Ring Fit Adventure?
Ring Fit Adventure
That's
is
what we wanted to get you to do, to play on stream, like the last streams of on the last legs of fucking all-time gaming.
so it's a pre-existing concept in exercise. I'm led to believe, I'm not an expert in the matter, as you might have guessed, which is that it's this big plastic ring that you put a Joy-Con in, and you can bend it
It's like a
and like squeeze it and pull
What do
it.
they call it? Torsional or tension ring.
Oh,
or
okay.
whatever
No,
it's
I
called.
do remember it.
And they built an adventure game
an
around the
RPG.
use of this thing.
Okay.
And so basically, the trailer had two people that looked like they were fucking coked out their fucking heads, and we all thought this is the weirdest looking piece of shit ever. Comes out, reviews okay. It gets to December, and I had two things. First of all, that there were people that kept making videos about, oh, this is how I'm using it in my daily life, or blah 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 blah. And I also saw a tweet from someone, I think at the NPD, saying, oh yeah, Ring Fit Adventure's sold out in a lot of places. It's selling unbelievably well.
Yeah.
So get this.
Because I haven't heard anything of it other than those like
Me
launch
either.
trailers. Yeah.
No, I go in Amazon early January. This is why I've been keeping it under wraps for so long. And go to order it. It says estimated delivery date. It's like the 28th of February. The backlog was over a month long.
But I reckon that's probably because of the peripheral rather than anything
Yeah,
else.
it's
Can't
I mean,
make them.
stock shortages and stuff.
And I'm sure
like
they maybe were worried that it wouldn't sell that well, so they'd do like, hey, here's minimal, like the minimal we got to do.
Still though, I went on like Game, I went on Argos, I went on all the places you
That's cool.
think
So
to
you
go.
reckon by next week you would have?
They tried to deliver it today, and I wasn't there because I was
Oh,
here.
is that the one you were talking about? Oh,
yeah.
I see. Okay.
Shout out to the Royal Mail.
That would
But,
be cool. So next week you're going to be slimmer than both of us.
No, this is the
gonna- he's
thing,
gonna cane it.
and I feel like when
Oh, now I want to play Ring Fit Adventure.
I'll bring it in if you want.
Oh my God.
And I feel like I need to clarify, like, because when the fat guy buys a piece of exercise gear, this isn't one of those, I just want everyone to know this is a new year, new me. This is just like, I wonder if this is going to be the first attempt to gamify exercise that actually has any impact on me.
Do you know what? Having next week, we're going to say, oh, how was it? And you're like, yeah, you played the entire thing laying down on your bed, just like holding it going,
No, yeah. Well, like, it's structured in a weird way where you're meant to play it like half an hour at a time and stuff
Okay.
like that. It's meant to start
every
you-
day, half an hour a day.
Well, kinda.
Oh,
You're meant to kind of find it because I think it's more about like, hey, this isn't going to get you ripped. And I
Yes.
think if you two started it, nothing would happen.
Okay.
Maybe,
because like it's just not that intense.
Oh, can I
Well,
tell
how
you what
intense-
can
I
I
don't
tell you
know,
what
maybe
we
it
do
is.
with my one friend Yanni from South Africa? We've made a WhatsApp pact that we're gonna do the 100 push-up challenge.
what's the 100 push-up challenge?
You do push-ups every single day until you try and break 100 in one go.
In one go.
Yeah,
That's
but
intense.
it takes time, obviously. Like, let's say the first time.
So you do as many as you can every day, basically.
Yeah, but
Okay.
but and eventually you'll condition yourself that hey, it gets easier. Like let's say you
Day
manage to
one,
do.
3.
Yeah.
Day 2, 3.
I'm estimating that on my first day, which is going to start on Monday, because I want to like start it fresh and et
Oh,
cetera.
that's the death knell of any sort of thing. Oh,
I know. I'm
But
backing
this is
you.
where the WhatsApp pact comes in, because we're going to check in with each other every single day and say, have you done them?
You know what it's going to be by the end? It's going to be topless pictures and videos that they're sending each
Wow,
other.
Chris is gonna-
there's another
cranking
group for
out.
that.
I can't
Come
wait
on.
until Chris is ripped. Chris just
I wanna
comes
do
in,
this challenge.
films.
Can I fill you in on something? When I was in last year of high school and pretty much all of university, I was going to gym every single day.
Yeah, I mean, go back 25 years and we can also
Yeah.
stop, you know.
No, but what I'm saying is I used to be ripped. I did.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's doable.
Youth helps with that kind of
well,
stuff.
yeah. Well, it's mainly time, really.
Youth and time.
and,
Yeah, I used
and elasticity.
sit-ups used to be my home exercise of choice, and I used to do when I played rugby. I'd do like 200 or so sit-ups a day.
Nice.
I used to do
four-pack.
pull-ups. Pull-ups was my thing.
Pull-ups.
Like pull-ups,
See, that's tough.
chin-ups.
That's tough.
But you see, the thing is, because I was so light already, it was my. This is boring.
Here's a weird question: Do pull-ups always even out? Because as they would theoretically get easier, you're also gaining muscle and getting heavier.
No, you can do more and more.
Yeah,
and
your
more and
strength. Like your strength factor
Right.
isn't related to just the density of your muscle, right?
more. Yeah, you get to, otherwise Yeah, like literally, someone who could do 100 would be fucking gigantic.
Yeah.
No, I've seen videos of people just bashing out chin-ups, like almost like they're doing it.
half of it's
They can just
technique, to be honest.
Go.
Yeah.
Like I when I was doing them at the gym and doing all the pull-ups, and I was really good at them. A lot of my friends who were going to gym at the same time and was just as kind of like built as me, they couldn't do it because maybe their muscle definition was like different to mine, or their technique was wrong, whatever it may be.
I always remember we used to work with a guy called Nick, and Nick could do the thing where you had sort of like a vertical pole. He could hang off the side of it completely horizontally. And I was like, whoa.
But that's a great example, right? Because Nick, you wouldn't necessarily say is a muscular dude.
No, he wasn't
Strong
like he wasn't
dude, very
jacked.
strong dude.
He was just strong. Yeah.
Anyway,
There's
games.
a lot of what I said before we get to that. There was a lot. I used to do rock climbing. There's a lot of rock climbers who are insanely strong. You don't look it, but then they can do like a chin up with like one finger.
Yeah.
And they can climb up a. You know, I was never that good, but some of them were incredible. The stuff.
That's what freaked me out about.
I reckon I could do 3-fingered push-ups, maybe 2-fingered push-ups.
But could you do a one-fingered pull-up?
No,
they can like pull themselves up.
I was going to say that.
When we finish recording this, I'll do it for you. I'll see if I can still do it. I used to be able to.
We should film it.
We'll do it behind the
Patreon
scenes
bonus.
on the Patreons.
Hey.
There was a documentary that came out. I think it was last year. Was it called Free Solo?
Oh yeah.
About the guy who free solos I can't remember the name of the.
El Capitan.
So it's something like that, yeah.
Free soloing.
And like watching his, like obviously he's got like weirdly big fingers because they're all like.
Yeah, they've got like claws and shit because they're so like fucking hard.
But watching him
if you
like.
have to feel my fingers, it's like marshmallows.
he's going through the holds and it's like, oh yeah, this is like a pinky hold where I hang my whole body weight from my pinky, and I'm like, you fucking freak.
Yeah, but they're mad. They're so strong. Just their hands and
then they all die, and you're like, well, look at what you do for a living.
Free soloing.
Oh, maybe you shouldn't have used one fucking pinky and used your whole fucking hand.
That guy isn't dead.
You do free soloing over water. I think that's the way to do it if you want to do free soloing.
I don't know.
I'm not going to do any kind of look at me. Imagine me on the side. I like to get halfway up. I'm like, I want to go down.
After 6 weeks of Ring Fit Challenge or Ring Fit Adventure.
Ring Hole Challenge.
I'm not going to bring up Ring Fit Adventure again now until something actually happens.
At the very least, let us know what it's like next week.
Yeah, I'll let you know how easy it was to get into a kind of a schedule with it.
Yeah. How are you finding it, if it's fun, like what's the game like anyway?
I need to figure out sleep, that's the issue.
Mine's going to be super quick as well. I've been playing some more Need for Speed Heat.
Oh my god, it makes me cringe every time.
Do you know what I was? So the thing I've quite liked...
Did you get to that little island on the top like northeast island?
I don't know, not yet.
I
like the loot cycle in that game of... It's bothering me less. Like I still don't like
the day-night cycle.
No, because you select day or night. Like it doesn't actually become. You don't drive.
Yeah,
around
but they've separated the things, right?
Yeah, and the only time I go into the night is when I need to get some rep.
Yeah.
and unlock stuff. But I'm kind of getting more used to the go and do a couple of races at night before the police are really on your tail, and then carefully make your way to a safe house, stay off their radar, and then you can get there and you're fine. The thing that I really dislike is when you start getting chased by the police. I mean,
it's so mad.
Some dude was like, "Oh yeah, just go over jumps and you'll be fine." I must have done like 10 jumps, trying like long jumps and jumps through signs, trying to get rid of the police. I never had less than 2 on me.
Again, all of that is fine, right? Like just to reiterate what we said last week, all of that is fine until you're in a race.
No, see, that annoyed me because I couldn't even get into a race. So I couldn't...
Yeah, but imagine if you're in the race and it's like, oh, right, now you got to be number 1 on this fucking thing.
This was after. So I'd done a race. They started chasing me during the race. The race finished.
You finished and then
I couldn't go to the save house because then I had like 3 cops on me. Then I had helicopters. Then they had these extra powerful units that
like rhinos or something like that.
Yeah, and
I just remembered
I just didn't like it.
The starting kind of like cutscene of that game, like the cop almost wants to fucking throw you off the bridge or some shit.
The story of that game is about like dirty cops and a new division that's designed to crack down on street racing.
Like I was like all for that. I was like, okay, so this is how they're going to do the cops. Little did I know it fucking resulted in just psychopathic fucking drivers.
But it's fun. I was talking to my wife about it, and I said it's funny because obviously we're in a game where you are the criminal, right? Because you're the criminal. You're a street racer. And think how many times...
the law.
Think how many times in that game you do like a head-on collision with a family sedan coming the other way. You are the fuck in that game. Yep. So in order to sort of level that out, it's the same with films. They have to make the bad guys so much worse than you are because you and your mates are are like scumbags who could kill kids and all sorts of shit.
Yeah, but you're happy-go-lucky, right? And you're
But
like,
you're happy-go-lucky.
You're in Miami, and you're like,
So
hey!
the way they deal with that is by making the cops the most insanely bad cops you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
They steal people's cars just to try joyride themselves. They try and kill people on the sly.
Yeah.
They're all bent. They're all stealing money. Like, they use every cliche about bent cops, and it is ridiculous. But they have to.
Yeah, they do have to.
you
You're right. You have to have that kind of dynamic. I also think you just came up with the name for the next Need for Speed.
Bent.
No, Need for Speed. Need for Speed. You are the fuck.
You are the fuck.
You are the fuck.
Slap that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
We need to figure out some merchandise. Boys.
I am the fuck.
Oh, you are the fuck.
You are the fuck.
You are the
in the
fuck.
Super Show.
Pinky purple right in at a slight angle. You are the fuck.
Pinky purple.
Pinky purple.
On a black background, just you are the fuck.
You are the fuck.
I like that because I think it's ambiguous enough that people wouldn't know. Like, is that I am the fuck?
It's like when you go to these like Asian countries and they try and have these English sayings,
Yeah.
but they just use like Google Translate. It's like I am the fuck.
That's the same as when you do the other way around as well, isn't it?
Yeah. That was why I used to panic when I was doing my Spanish homework, because what I'd do is I'd go into Google Translate from Google to Spanish, and I'd test it by copying the Spanish and translating it back to English, and it would be completely broken. I'd be like, oh, what do I do? I don't speak this language.
Had that. When I was doing Afrikaans in South Africa, we had to read an Afrikaans book and then write a review. Obviously, I never fucking did that. But what I did is I got like one of these like housewife magazines, you know, like at the time it's called You magazine.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like one of the like Hello or some shit like that.
I get what you mean.
And they had a section where they'd review a book. So what I do is I'd buy the English version and I'd buy the Afrikaans version, which is exactly the same. And I just copy the English
That is
book
too
review.
smart, and it's also filth.
It got me through right up until the time I had to do an exam, and then I realized I did not know a single word of Afrikaans.
Your teacher's like, Chris is amazing. He's my best student when it comes to Afrikaans.
I was even more mega mind than that, because I'd like dumb down the review as much as I thought I had to. So it'd be like, this doesn't look legit. Like,
I'm getting worried. This is
You get a solid B+, Chris. Good. Oh,
Well,
thank you. I'm working hard.
I would like to think that if I were a psychopath, there's no way you'd catch me. Just going to throw that out there.
When you were learning languages, did you not have to do a speaking component to the exams?
Yes.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
How did that
had
go?
your oral. Is average.
Okay.
I've never been good at languages, so
I'm terrible.
But it was rough, man.
To be fair, you are better than most, like 98% of British people, given that you speak Afrikaans, Greek.
How many
and
languages
English.
do you speak? Yeah.
Three.
I mean,
yeah.
that's-
Yeah, but hold on.
in the UK, you are
two of them
incredible.
is very broken. So
Yeah, but broken's better than nothing. Like, I wouldn't describe my French or Spanish as broken. I'd describe them as
Me
non-existent.
too. I can say, can I have the bill and can I have a beer in like 3 languages, and that's about it.
yeah, it's like when we were in Gamescom, Germany for Gamescom, and I was just like speaking like a form of Afrikaans to them, and I was getting by just fine.
Yeah.
Because like German and Afrikaans is more Dutch based, but
Yes.
Dutch and German is kind of similar.
Dude, I think you're doing yourself a disservice there.
I had a thing where I recently went to Poland and I realised that I didn't know a single word of Polish.
Oh wait, Polski sklep.
I don't know what that means.
It's like a Polish shop.
Okay, great. But I looked it up on Google. I was like, Polish phrases. And I was like, I'll try and learn some of these.
Oh,
and
dude.
it was all shit from Borat. So what I found out is that, you remember from Borat, dziękuję?
Yeah.
That's real. That's thank you.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be real?
And-
Do you think
and
he was just
also-
making
Yeah,
that shit
that-
up?
that-
Yeah.
no,
And
it's
also,
like Dakwiem,
Yakshimash is real as well.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
It's like, how are you, or something like that. But in the end, I didn't need to talk to anyone until I had an Uber driver who was the scariest Uber driver I've ever had in my life.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I got in the back of the car, as I do, and I was like, right, I'm not going to faff about. I don't know what hello is in Polish. So I just said, hello. He didn't say anything. And I was like, this guy does not want an English guy in his car. And so he's doing this thing. He's got his phone by the steering wheel, as they usually do for directions.
Yeah.
And he's swapping back and forth between Google Maps and WhatsApp. And he's texting people while he's driving. And I swear to God, he is veering in more and more. And every 10 seconds, he looks up and then pulls back into the lane. One time, he veered so much, and this is not a word of a lie, that when he looked up, he was already so far in the other lane that he just committed to it and changed lanes. And I swear on my
I
life.
can't believe you didn't say anything.
I say what? Like,
Oh, you fucking idiot!
No, but Jamie was like,
It's just saying
like
English.
just panicking.
Panic in any language is a panic.
yeah,
Because at the
I
end of
can
the
say this. It's universal in any fucking language, right?
But then he was so relaxed. If he just had me in the back, going, oh. Plus he got me there on time, and he said, "Have a nice flight." And I was like, "You know what? You and me, we're okay. We're all good."
Jeez,
and I said,
kills
"I went,
you.
dziękuję," and then
Fair
left.
enough.
I know a little bit of Slovak, but a tiny bit.
Nice.
Because my sister-in-law
Oh,
Slovak.
you actually is.
Yeah, I mean,
So I can say I can count to 10. That's about it.
nice. Go on.
Give us 1, 2, 3. Little preview.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, that was easier than I thought it was going to be.
Stiri.
Stieglitz.
I don't know the rest. Do you know what's great is 7 and I think Sediem and Sediem is like 7 and the other one is I am pooing. So the word for
like
7
it.
and for I am pooing are really
That's great.
similar. Which is great.
Yeah. There was a time in Gamescom when I said faith, which is 5 in Afrikaans, but in German it's fünf.
Fünf.
25.
And it's like, fucking hell. It's like the dude was just looking at me like, this guy's fucking retarded. It's like, oh, maybe I am. I don't know.
Fifth?
Dankeschön.
Fünf? Yeah.
Anyway,
1,
should we
2,
move on?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's German there.
Yeah,
Neun.
no, that.
Acht.
All very similar, isn't it?
Should we talk about games?
Please let's.
Oh my good lord! Should we apologise?
No.
we went well alright.
Listen,
These people knew what they were signing up for.
this
If
was
they
the plan
didn't,
all along, all right?
what?
No, that's my watch. Sorry.
Wow. Alex, mute your fucking watch.
He
Dude.
wanted to get involved. It's a 4-man podcast
Here's
now.
the weather today.
Is that your Siri?
Yeah.
Is Siri always a bloke?
You can change it.
What's my? I kind of want to know if my Siri. What's my Siri?
I think the
now?
default is female, isn't it?
I would keep it as female because I love the sound of a sexy
here we go. Hold on,
female
it's a
Hey
voice.
Siri,
That's just so embarrassing.
tell Jamie a joke.
Okay, I'll send this.
It's trying to send you a message that says a joke.
Oh,
All right,
Siri
anyway,
has
games,
failed you.
games.
Right, games.
All right, what is your... So, the people knew they were getting into this. It's a little bit different. It's more flowy, more meandering.
A lot of bullshit about stuff that I don't care about.
Bullshit,
but, well, you know.
bullshit.
People
Let's hear your
love the Matrix.
gaming-related
Can
content.
First of all, I'm going to apologise. I've got a bit of a cold, which is why I sound a bit
Sniffles. I'm on the mend.
He's got the coronavirus. Classic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just keep drinking Corona, and it's giving me a virus.
Oh, my God.
Hey!
How dare you make a joke at the expense of all those dead Chinese people?
This is getting very racial.
They are
Let's go.
rolling in their graves.
So the thing I wanted to talk about, following on from something we talked about last week, was the fact that Half-Life Alyx had come out and they'd done an AMA. We've got a few figures from the end of last year about how well the Valve Index has done, the headset, the new headset from Valve. Which something I thought was quite cool was after the announcement for Half-Life Alyx, the Index sales in December were double they had been in previous months, and they ended up actually having a pretty good Q4 for the Valve Index. I've got a few figures for other VR headsets as well, so I thought you guys would bloody love it.
But that's interesting, isn't it? Like a killer app or a platform exclusive, platform in this case just being VR or PC VR. Wow. It shifts units. Who would have fucking thought?
We've talked a lot about the games they need to bring out and they need to make in order to get people on board with that tech and get people to just experience it.
Yeah.
Because it's all well and good selling a few units here and there, but I think Jamie said a number of times before that if you don't like have a crossover thing, if you don't get something that gets people on board, it will just go away and it'll just die.
Beat Saber and Super Hot can only go so far.
Yeah, and they really needed a big
Before you
ticket
get into
item.
that, did you see that the PS Plus for this month, I don't know if they did it for other months, but I noticed it this month, was they're giving 2 games and then they're giving away a PSVR game as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
It's
cool.
I forget the name of it. It's the tactical Rainbow Six Siege shooter. It's
Yeah.
like Firewall Zero or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's Bioshock Infinite. No, sorry, the Bioshock Collection
yeah.
and The Sims 4.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny is
That's a decent
Good month.
month.
It's a very good month.
I think that a lot of people who really like VR and are really looking forward to what's going to be in the future are going to owe a lot to PlayStation in the years to come. Because I think without them like making a completely accessible unit
100%.
that people can get and it works on their PlayStations that they already have, they're going to.
So it's the best-selling headset, right?
Massively,
Yeah.
but massively so as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not only that, right? Like they've got the games for it, like full-on games. Not like, oh, it's a VR experience. It's like, hey, you want to play Resident Evil 7 and shit your pants in VR? You can.
I don't.
So yeah, let's go through some of the numbers because I thought they were quite interesting. One thing to say about the Index is one of the reasons that it sold, I think, 100 and let me find the actual numbers. So the Valve Index sold 150,000 units in 2019, but it sold about 90,000 units in like December.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Which was the announcement.
Yes.
More or less.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Around then.
Let me.
Whenever we
just-
stream
And now
Half-Life
it's sold
2.
out. You can't. You like if you wanted to buy one now, you can't. It's sold out.
Yeah, I think it's sold out worldwide as well.
Yeah.
It's not even like a regional thing.
It's mad. Not that I can afford it anyway, especially
No.
now.
The PlayStation VR was the best-selling in Q4. It sold 338,000 units. The Oculus Quest was second with 317,000 units. However, some people have said that the Quest might have outsold the PlayStation VR, but again, they had stock issues and they sold out. So
right, okay,
there is a question about whether or not it would have
Yeah,
actually
dude, the Quest
sold
is
more.
getting a lot of kind of traction, especially because they've got that like Oculus Link bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. It's the most interested in VR I've ever been because that's for me. There's still a question mark around VR in general, but it takes away so many other barriers to entry. Where it says, "Hey, this is a freestanding, like a wireless experience that you can have almost anywhere."
Yeah.
That I'm like, actually, do you know what? I'd go in for that
Yeah. But you
because I like VR.
But you need to connect. Yeah, of course. But you need to connect it if you want Half-Life Alyx. You need to connect.
Yes. But I
Yeah.
think that's the interesting thing about the Valve Index specifically selling so well is because yes, I know Half-Life Alyx will be free with it, depending on what stuff you buy, but that's a relatively small reason to buy what is the most expensive headset on the market.
Yeah.
So Half-Life Alyx enthusiasts could go out there and buy an Oculus Rift or an HTC Vive to
Yeah.
play Half-Life
Well,
Alyx,
so-
but they're going out there and buying the most expensive headset.
I think
They want to go all in.
a lot of people have an issue though when if you said to them like if you're gonna go in, then you don't go in halfway. If you're gonna go and get the if you're gonna spend the
Right.
money, maybe you go and you go, okay, sod it, I'm doing it. I'm gonna get the best one. I'll just clarify. I did say December, but the index from June until the end of Q3 sold about 50,000 units, and then in Q4 it sold 100,000 units. So it doubled its sales in Q4, and most
Okay.
of that is from after the announcement of
Yeah.
Half-Life Alyx. But I mean, I think just the total numbers of VR headsets that have been sold last year is pretty impressive because you've got the Quest sold like 700,000 units last year, so the Index sold 150,000 units. You've then got obviously the PlayStation VR, which is doing the best. So you're talking like millions of units sold.
Have you got
across the world.
that Samsung? Was it Odyssey or something?
I do not have.
Because I think
Samsung
that's on
Odyssey.
sale at the moment. And it's a really good deal, actually.
But if you look at projected growth for VR and AR in the years to come, they are predicting that the market will be about $15 billion by 2023.
Oh, dude, I can believe it. Did you see the LG VR headset that they showed off at CES?
Yes.
Which was like those fucking like cyberpunk goggles.
Yeah.
It's like that's what your VR headset is going to be now. Well, in like call it the end of the year, beginning of next year. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, that was also the same for that startup company that Google put a lot of money into. I forget their name now, but they were working on the technology that projected images into your eyes rather than having screens.
Is this Magic Leap?
Magic Leap,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And their first prototype, or I think the first things that you could buy, maybe a dev kit or something, they were very goggle-like.
Yeah, but it
Looked
had like
strange.
this breakout box that you had to attach.
Yes,
to your
it
hip and
is,
stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as soon as they make those little fucking steampunky looking goggles available without anything else, and potentially either wireless or one cable connecting to a computer, fucking that's and as long as obviously the reasons are there, like games, then the floodgates are going to open.
Yeah, but the games need to be
Games
there.
need to be there.
I think
Like it can't just all be on, like I said, like Beat Saber, Half-Life Alyx, and Super Hard. Like,
No, but I think the real thing is going to be mixed reality and AR. I think are going to be the big things. But those at the moment are shocking. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone like watching this or listening to this has used them, but the field of view on some of those things and the way they
yeah,
work.
because you guys
interact,
tried out the HoloLens at the
we did.
Microsoft store.
We
did,
tried out the
yeah.
HoloLens recently.
and it is like compared to what I was hoping it would be. So I've got a Vive, I haven't got that the Pro or anything. I've got the Vive from a few years ago, but having used that and really enjoying it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big thing, and you've got to be tethered and all this. But having played some games on it and like really enjoying it, and then trying out the HoloLens like relatively recently, the difference is staggering. Like they have got a lot of work to do on the mixed reality and the AR side. But when they get there. And then, like you're saying about, when it's just goggles, when it's just glasses like these, I mean, Jesus Christ, that's the end. That's the end of the world as we know it.
Yeah. And we've talked about before the fact that it's this weird kind of subset industry where VR itself isn't always necessarily selling particularly well,
Yeah.
but because it's supported by so many other industries, so to speak, like screen technology will continue to get better
Yeah.
and more affordable, and a lot of the elements that make up the components of VR will continue to be important in other industries. So the technology will keep advancing. They just need people who are willing to, I don't know if these people are taking a hit or making massive amounts of money, but just keep making the headsets.
I suppose it's kind of like the things, even like you look at the PlayStation 3, right? When they first made the PlayStation 3, they made a loss on every unit they shipped because the tech in the box was
because they went Blu-ray.
Yeah, exactly. And then they were losing money on every unit, but by the end, or not even the end, but by halfway through that console's life cycle, they were making money.
Yeah.
Because suddenly everything in it was cheaper.
I think I remember reading something about the index that they were selling them at cost and they weren't doing them below cost. I think because they had already sunk in so much. Like if you take in the R&D cost of it, then they're selling it at a loss because they're not going to make up that R&D.
Sure.
Especially because they made it open source.
Right.
Like, hey, you want that info? There, it's there. But anyway, it's interesting. I'm excited for the future of VR, and I'm excited to get my hands on VR. Fucking hell, Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, me too.
I will say I watched a YouTube video recently where a guy was playing through a VR game that I hadn't heard of for a long time, but it looked surprisingly good, and it was a Walking Dead game that's come out in the last month or so.
Okay.
Saints and Sinners, yeah.
Right.
And it looked like a surprisingly interesting, fleshed out thing. And what I love is that they've nailed some of the more sort of tactile elements of VR. And so one of the ways the person in this video kept killing zombies was they'd come towards him, and as they got about 3 feet away from him, he grabbed the top of their head to stop them getting too close and just sunk a knife into their head. And I was like, if you was one zombie that was shambling towards you, that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to panic and shoot it in the head. Just like grab it on the top of the dome and just fucking plant a knife in its ear.
I would never fucking touch a zombie. You're mad.
That reminds me a little bit of I think it's Raw Data, which is the robot one where the robots kind of lose it.
From Servios.
It is indeed a cracking game, but I'm pretty sure it's in Raw Data where when they get near, you can grab hold of them and you can like rip their arm off and then beat them with their.
No, that was
arm.
Robo Recall.
That was
Robo Recall.
Yeah, that was cool.
So I played that one on one of our videos when we did
Yeah, that
VR,
was cool.
and I had so much fun.
And you
with
could
that.
like pull their head off, but it would like the cables in their neck would stretch and then it would snap, and then you could pull the arms and legs off and beat them with it. And
You know, another VR game I'm really looking forward to, which is really flown, below the radar, is Respawn's Medal of Honor.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Yeah,
I was reading
They're
some stuff
bringing
about
back
that like
Medal of
2
Honor,
or
I
3
forgot.
weeks back, and it sounds mad. Like it's a full-on campaign, and
that stuff is the full-on campaign thing is interesting to me, but just because the commitment to like getting into VR is quite a thing anyway, and the experience thing works quite well. But when you've got to do it for a full-on like first-person shooter style campaign,
it's got to work, right?
It must work, of course.
No, but I'm saying if it doesn't work, you're fucked.
That's what I mean.
It
must work. Otherwise, what's the point of the game? Like, if no one can bear to play it more than twice. And the other thing, if you ever have like two-handed guns in VR, it's horrendous because obviously there's nothing between your hands.
Yeah.
So
that's
trying
when
to
you got to
line
get
up
one of
shots
those little Wii peripherals where it's like
you do need. You should get
the
like,
tennis racket extender.
You need like a generic two-handed gun thing.
Yeah.
That you can.
Well, that's what PlayStation made for that sci-fi shooter.
Oh yes,
They just made a plastic case that kind of housed the move controls in a way that felt like a gun.
Yeah.
Okay, but and
And
more
it
of that.
had one pointing out the end of it.
Trying to use a sniper rifle in VR when you don't have that is awful. I've been laying on the floor in my dining room
Laying on the floor.
trying to do a.
Should you put a ghillie suit on as well?
There was that. I can't remember what the game was
up.
called, but the game was like you're a sniper, but you're lying down and you've got like a sandbag and the sniper rifle.
That's cool.
And you're trying to do the shots. So I thought, okay, sure, I'll do it. But it's so hard to aim your shots.
Not quite as cool as being a sniper in a kayak, but okay, I'll let you have it.
Talking about like aiming in VR, it just reminded me of a good old friend Steph Murphy at
Oh god.
at Gamescom, putting on the VR headset and playing Arizona Sunshine.
Oh yeah.
But then we realised he's only got one eye, like one working eye, so he
Fucking hell.
couldn't aim.
Yeah.
Jamie and I were watching, and we were like, why does he keep on shooting to the left of their heads every single time?
And the poor guys, the reason we were playing the game in the first place was for a peripheral company that are making these frictionless pads that go on the bottom of your shoes.
Yeah.
Just the where you sit on a chair and
You sit on a chair and
which actually
you run and
worked
spot.
really well and looked really cool.
So they just wanted someone to play the game normally and show off their shoes, and Steph couldn't do anything. He was
play the
putting
game.
his depth perception was out, so he was trying to open door handles and he was missing them, and it was like it looked like it was broken. And a little crowd was building up because
are these shoes that bad that you can't use them?
they were panicking.
And
dude.
the guys who made the peripherals were like, I think one of them came up to me and said, "Is something wrong?" And I was like, "No." And that's when it dawned on us.
Many
it's like,
things
oh,
are wrong
shit,
with
yeah.
him.
But they were like, they were like trying to help him, and then they were thinking like, shit, maybe the demo's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Or like maybe the calibration is
Because
off.
we'd organised that. That was one of the few
Yeah.
things that was like, oh, we're of a size and they're of a size that actually they want us to come and look at this thing and talk about it. Which I guess we have done since then.
That's great.
Probably.
That's
Although I
great.
don't remember the name of the company, so.
Yeah, VR foots.
VR Feet, yeah.
Yeah.
Look it up,
I
folks.
do want to have a look at those shoes because the one thing that gets me about VR games is
They were really cool, and Steph said they worked like really, really well. The only issue is that they are expensive.
okay, but that's I think gonna be the issue. Have you seen any of those like the
The ring.
yeah, the ring that
Yeah.
holds you and you've got like a treadmill and you imagine getting one of them in your house is mental. You don't do that.
No,
gonna happen,
that's
is it?
overkill, I think. For now, at least.
I need little slippy shoes.
Slippy shoes. Well, I can give you some. Nah. Shall I go into my
Do it.
Yes, yeah.
my
what's
one?
your story?
All right. So, as you guys may know, I'm a fan of Warcraft, and in particular Warcraft 3.
You
yeah,
are.
the worst Warcraft game.
One of the best games ever made.
It's favorite movie as well.
And I was
Vastly inferior to Warcraft 2, but please go on.
that wrong.
Completely right. Yeah, because you're a MOBA guy. Of course you love hero units, but please continue.
Hell yeah. So obviously Warcraft 3 Reforged, which is their remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That came out yesterday. And a lot of people were really excited for it, me included.
I
really
remember,
hyped
yeah,
for
of
it.
course, yeah.
And it's a shit show. It's just let's put it
Fuck,
that way. It's a
man.
shit show.
What's wrong with it?
Well,
I honestly didn't see this coming.
I'll be honest. You may be taking the piss, but
No, genuinely, I
Okay.
thought this would be fine.
I also thought it would be fine because it's like, how can you fuck it up? It's a known quantity.
Yeah.
You just make it better,
Yep.
right?
Polish it, improve it, release
And
it.
even so, I think it was at BlizzCon 2018 where they said, oh, it's going to come out at the end of 2019, and they pushed it. Okay, they pushed it by a month because they didn't give a specific date in 2019. They just said that toward Q4, end of 2019.
Okay.
So, but everyone was like, okay, so it'll be December, and then they released it at the end of Jan. Fine, a little bit of a delay. So you think, okay, even with a delay, like there must be a reason for that delay. There must be a reason why, in the first place, they said we're going to release it at the end of 2019.
Yeah.
Right, easy.
I think I'd give them to Jan though. I think I'll give them that and say if it's 1 month, it could be loads of things, right?
Yeah, but regardless,
not
like,
bad,
no
not a big thing.
one was upset by this.
Okay, right.
Because they never gave a firm release date, and when they did
Yeah,
give a
yeah.
firm release date, it was the Jan thing,
Okay.
right? It's released in a really bad state, like really buggy. They've had a graphical downgrade, if you can believe it, on a fucking RTS.
Is that based on the trailers or the
based on the
from?
gameplay that they had at the previous BlizzCons to the actual release? Like
Right.
there are
Right.
side-by-side videos where it's like, hey, that looks cool, and this doesn't look that cool.
Right.
And,
That's a
and
shame.
people have even gone so far as to say, hey, look, this is the Warcraft 3 mod that some dude in his basement made on StarCraft 2's engine, and it looks fucking crisp, right?
And they couldn't even do that.
It's apparently
Jesus.
look, I haven't picked it up yet because I was reading this and it got me really worried, but I'll pick it up this weekend hopefully and try it out. But we're talking about a real unoptimized mess, okay? Laggy user interface. They've removed a whole bunch of stuff from Battle.net, so the multiplayer side of things. They've removed features, and apparently what they've done is they've removed features from the legacy title as well, so that the two are the same match. Yeah. So
Okay, that's fucking scummy.
that's fucking bad. So what did they get rid of? No tournaments, no clans, no MMR, no leagues,
Wow.
no custom lobbies, blah blah blah.
So not only have they pissed off any new people that were going to come to it, they've also pissed off the people. that
Oh,
still play the
massive.
legacy.
Those
Yeah.
are the people who are going to be most pissed
Even
off.
better than that, if you have the legacy title, Warcraft the original, and you buy Reforged, and you double click on the legacy title, it opens up Battle.net and it launches Reforged.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
just how they're doing it.
They're so weird.
Look,
They are so
but
weird.
listen, in a way, I understand, okay? Because if you buy Reforged, it's because you want the newer thing, right? But it only really works when the newer thing is exactly
Yeah.
or not better
Plus,
than the previous.
you still should be able to go back to the old school one whenever you
Yeah,
want
right.
to without having to deal with, no, I don't actually want to play Reforged this time.
Okay, so look, there's a few things for me to unwrap here. Okay, so apparently there's also some game-breaking bugs. Like people have started a mission.
It started out bad.
Yeah.
It's getting worse.
People would start a mission, and as soon as they load into the mission, they get a fail state.
Great.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's really bad. The game's like, sorry, you're not even going to pass
So
this
it's not.
first
So
step.
what's not ready to release really?
Apparently
But
not.
they've
Okay.
forced it out.
Yeah. So loads of people have been asking for a refund. So it's Warcraft 3 Reforged, but hashtag Warcraft 3 Refunded was trending on Twitter.
Perfect.
I like it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
It's nice. Apparently they were going to redo all of the cinematics.
Yeah.
Right now, we all know, and regardless of how shit Blizzard as a company have become, their cinematics department is still fucking top notch. Just look at the Diablo 4 cinematic, and you're like, you understand they are the top.
Yeah,
of the
they're
game.
very good.
They've done nothing. So when
So it's not been redone.
Yeah,
None of it's been redone.
Apparently not. So in their own words, right? Let me see if I can find this. In their own words, they said that they were describing the game as more than just a remaster and called it a reimagining. Right? So in other words, like, fix up all of the animations, fix up all of the cinematics, in-game and out-of-game cinematics, etc. The in-game cinematics, they took what they released in Blizzard 2018, BlizzCon 2018, the demo that they had, and the release. And basically in the demo, it's like, oh, it's the in-game cinematic. In the previous game, the camera was just on top, and then you had a little portrait just talking.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, what we're going to do is we're going to, like World of Warcraft, we're going to zoom into people's faces, and they're going to, like, be touching people and shit like that. And I was like, holy shit, this, you know what? They do that. That's next level. That is above and beyond just a standard remaster. What actually we got was, hey, guess what? The camera floats above, and they just talk to each other. So they've seemingly gone back on that, unless they are going to release it on patches further. I think all of this is caveats.
They've released it.
Released it.
There are paying customers playing this game right now.
And I think if they had said to people like, hey, we need another 2 months.
Yeah.
Fine.
Take it.
Yeah.
Join the club.
Exactly.
This is a weird one, though, because in some ways this sounds like a bigger problem than they just need a little bit longer. It sounds more like...
The big problem is the company that Blizzard has become.
Well, I was going to say, it sounds like what's happened is they were full of good intentions, and they'd promised all this stuff to people, but actually, for whatever reason, the budget's been cut, the time's been cut, the team maybe's been... it sounds like something's gone really wrong.
But so there's another thing that people...
How could it go this wrong?
I don't know.
Dude,
do you know what I mean? It must something must be going on.
Something must be going on. But they've had a long time to work on it.
Because it's not like they're making the game from scratch.
No, and
Loads of people are saying it feels very rushed. So
I just don't understand. Like, I know we're kind of like talking around the same thing, but Blizzard in their current state, like, why would you have the BlizzCon they had? Why would you go out of your way to push Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2? You're trying to win back the goodwill of people.
Yeah.
Like we're saying, why wouldn't you just push it back? Like, you don't. The bottom line doesn't need Warcraft 3 Reforged to come out in January.
No. Yeah.
It can come out in March and still be in the same financial year. Just what happened?
This does kind of feel like a bit of a cash grab as well. It feels like they've
well, they don't need one.
Well, maybe they do.
But maybe they do need one.
Well, maybe they do, but if you need a cash grab, then like they should have made more games in the last 10 years.
So I got 2 more points on this, Ken. And the one is I think it's a bit of a non-issue, but people are making it an issue, right? They are saying that any custom game mode that is made using their new engine in this game, blah blah blah, is completely owned by Blizzard, and they are banning any copywritten material like, say, Dragon Ball Z or Super Mario, etc. I think this is all perfectly understandable. People are up in arms about it. What they've also said is that they own full ownership of anything that is made in the custom game. And the reason they're doing that is because they wanted to avoid another Dota scenario.
Right.
And I think that's fair. I think, you know what, like, they're perfectly within their rights to do that. But other people are saying that they are capitalizing on other people's creativity. But then again, no one's forcing you to create maps on that mode. So I don't know. I can see both sides. But
they'll just drive people out to somewhere else, though. It's not like they're gonna. It's not like they're gonna end up owning and like stuff people make because people just won't do it.
I guess the point is, like, you look at Auto Chess, which was made in Dota 2, which was made off of a Warcraft 3 mod, which is Dota All Stars. Like, it all gets a bit muddy. I think this is just them protecting themselves. It's business. I understand it.
Yeah, I think with the context of what can happen to games that spawn from mods nowadays,
exactly.
I think them covering their backs a little bit more than they used to makes sense.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they're not going to be the first and they're not the last.
No, absolutely
but
not.
I'd rather have seen them turn around and say something like, "Do you know what? We'll own a percentage of it," and then people go, "Yeah, that sounds fair." If you do make something massive,
then it kind of gets into a weird grey area. You only own a percentage of something if it actually makes money, and 99.9999% of stuff that people make isn't going to make any money. No. So what's the relevance of owning 50% of Goku Fan 69's weird mod that no one touches?
But they don't have to do anything with it to anyone.
Yeah, but then it's like a weird agreement. Like, can you really get people to agree to a deal like that in the process of buying a game?
I would agree with you if they didn't go through the fucking shame of Dota. Right?
Yeah, because
they took Valve to court, and then they settled out of court, and guess what? Valve made Dota 2. Like, come on. Like, that's the reason. But anyway, the final point I've got on this, and this is the most telling point, and this is going to be fucking interesting. Currently, on MetaCritic, there are no critic scores yet, but there is a user score.
Can I guess?
Did you see my sheet?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to say 3.0.
Yeah,
I would have said like maybe if it's bad as you say, 2.8.
At the time of this recording, it's 1.5 off of 1,492 ratings.
Jesus.
But I mean, but come on, we know that there's so many people putting 0. 0, 0,
Oh yeah,
0, 0,
absolutely.
0, 0.
The majority of scores will be 0.
Yeah.
That's how user
Yeah.
That's why user reviews on MetaCritic are useless.
For reference,
They can be
Fallout
useless.
76
useless.
scores higher on user score. So
Yeah,
it
will even out.
You should be able to click a button on Metacritic that gets rid of all 10s and all 0s and then gives you an average based on everything else.
To be fair,
That'd be
we've spoken
interesting.
about that before. But this really makes me sad because 1.5 on Metacritic, like one of the highest regarded games, whether you like RTSs or not, I know we joke about it, but you guys can't deny that like it's an influential game.
Oh,
millions of people loved it
For
around the
sure,
world.
yeah.
I know, yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And for Blizzard to release it in this state, it's just like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
What do you think is the problem? You're a Blizzard kid.
I think the problem is that the people that are left at Blizzard don't care, like at the top. Okay, so I'm not talking about the artists and the people like working daily grind on it, because obviously they care because they want to work at Blizzard. That's their lifestyle. I think what's happened is a lot of the top people, like Chris Metzen, what's the other dude's name? Anyway, they've left. Okay,
Right.
because obviously Activision have come in. Activision are putting pressure, like, we need this money, we need that money, and I think they're making error after error after error. And what I know from my personal experience in terms of some of these things is this reeks of yes men,
Right.
where people at the top say, is this a good idea? And they ask you and you can only say yes.
Yes.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like if anyone,
And then you get the issue of they say this is your team, this is your budget,
Yeah.
this is how long you've got, and then the people who was be like, that is not enough.
well, you know this whole thing of like,
far too late.
we'll release it when it's ready. That was like Blizzard fucking came up with that concept, right? They never released the game until it was polished to shit, and that's why people fucking loved that company. And now they're rushing shit out the door.
Well, I think you brought up Activision, and I think they've got to have some part of the blame
big
because
time,
the stories coming out of there all the time are that Activision kept saying, like you said, where's the money? And Blizzard would say the money's in the games, and Activision would say, well, where are the games? When they're ready. And Activision goes, no, that's not how it works anymore.
It comes out now.
We need Overwatch 2. And they go, hang on a second, what's Overwatch?
Yeah, how does it work?
How do we make an Overwatch 2? Activision say, hey, figure it out.
Yeah. Figure it out, but call it Overwatch 2.
We're about to make Black Ops 5. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's probably how that discussion went. But yeah, it's just like it's the Blitzchung thing. It's the what was it, Diablo Immortal thing.
Yeah.
It's like all of these things. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then they kind of brought it back with that BlizzCon, where they were like, okay, there was a bit of a non-apology from J. Allen Brack. Then they had Diablo 4, which people are really interested in. But now people are looking at this and saying, hey, when you go to pre-order Diablo 4 or buy Diablo 4, don't forget that this shit happened.
That's going to be and that's the worst thing that can happen to a company, because of course if that happens, people don't do their pre-orders, which means that they then are more worried about the game coming out, which means that maybe they don't doesn't get the development time it needs.
I've cracked it.
Yeah.
WoW Classic 2.
WoW Classic 2 coming soon.
I'd love to. How would you do that? Well, how would you do that?
Activision just say, hey, figure it out.
Figure it out.
Not my problem.
Look, I'll pick this up because I really want to play the campaign. The campaign will always be good because it's a good campaign. As long as I can play the game without having to do the bugs. Hopefully, any bugs that are there would be patched out. A lot of and that's the sentiment a lot of people are saying is like, hey, if you're just there for the campaign, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't have been this thing
that's such a bad thing to have to say about a game, though.
It's not
if you
that
just want
bad.
to pay the campaign,
Exactly.
it's not that bad.
And
It should be fucking awesome.
And for a game as revered as Warcraft 3, it should never be in the
horrible,
same
isn't it?
sentence.
Like apply that to any other game that you're looking forward to this year. Imagine Cyberpunk comes out and we go, if you want the story, it's not that bad.
Dude, let's take it even better. Like a fucking remake with a remake, and you look at the Final Fantasy VII remake. How fucking... I don't know if it's going to be any good, but I've played a little bit of it and I fucking thought it was good. But just looking at what they're doing with it and the care and attention and detail that they're giving to it, it's like, that's how you fucking do it. If you want to say, oh, it's not a remaster, it's a reimagining, that's how you fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know?
And you then can't just release a remaster.
This
If
could have
you
been-
said that, you then can't just go,
Dude,
here's a shitty remaster that's not very
this
good.
could have been
Doesn't work.
such a massive money spinner for them if they had done it right, and people would have gladly given them the money. And instead now, what is it? Hashtag Warcraft 3 refunded.
Refunded.
Yikes.
Anyway, that's my rant. Over.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to brighten the mood much up at all, I'm afraid, because it's been a little while since we checked in on our old friend Google Stadia.
Oh!
Which, I'll be honest,
There's a
I'd
great
almo-
fact about Stadia. I think you'll probably bring up about.
As I think probably what I'm going to say, because I'd kind of not forgotten that Stadia existed, but it did this weird thing where
Oh, it died down, right?
Yeah, it launched, and then some people bought it, most people didn't, and we were talking about it for a little while and questioning whether it would sort of succeed or fail, and it failed so quietly that I almost forgot it existed. It turned out, though, thanks to a Reddit post that became quite popular last week, that Google themselves have also been extremely quiet on the front, and this is the fact that I think Jonesy liked.
Yeah.
That Stadia, at the time that this post was made, had officially gone 40 days without a new game or a new game announcement of any kind, with no feature updates and no community updates at all. And in total, it had been out for 69 days.
That is indeed the stat.
So in the
Whoa.
in the first 2.5 months, inside the first month, they'd done stuff, and since then, absolutely nothing. And what's crazy about that is that if you own a Google Stadia account or anything, you are the people who are paying money for it.
Yeah.
You are the most committed, the most there for it people that wanted to try out this new technology, and you're the people that are getting fucked over. It's the most backwards thing imaginable.
And also, it's like, it's Google. It's not like some oh, it's a startup and they've tried this. Like,
But they see. Do you know what it reminds me a bit
it's not
of?
like On Live. Like, if On Live fails, you're like, yeah, well, who the fuck is On Live?
It reminds me a little bit of Google Glass.
Yeah.
Because it's that way that they I think they came out with it they were trying to be ahead of the curve. They came out too hard too soon. They weren't ready. I think their pricing model and everything they were doing was not right. The way they'd work, the games as a service thing is a great idea, but if you can't deliver it, don't do what they did and basically force people to buy games and pay money to keep the.
You'd think that they'd have enough money, right? Google, the third biggest company in the world? Potentially?
It's got to be up there.
The top
The
5, let's
ABC
say.
own them, right? Is it
Alphabet.
Alphabet.
Yeah, but Alphabet
Same
is
difference,
Google.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But I know I'm saying, but I think are they not the biggest guy? They're not.
No.
Are they?
Apple is the biggest.
Microsoft is
the
sometimes
second.
up there.
But then there's Tencent and there's those Japanese companies and there's Exxon as well, which is massive. Anyway, the point is this. They've got huge cash reserves.
Yeah.
And they want to do this as a new break-in market that they obviously thought is worth going into because they can make a lot of money. You would think that they lock themselves in a room, perfect the shit out of it, and then announce it and release it.
Yeah.
That's what money affords you. They're not these startup companies where hey, we have to announce it now so we can get some pre-orders so we can pay for it to actually develop it. No. You could have just fucking made it work and then released it.
But it's even interesting that you say that, because I feel like that of the negative press that surrounds Google Stadia, we're not getting Reddit posts and tweets of people saying, hey, my game, I can't connect to this and the servers are down 50 hours a week and it runs super slowly. There was some negative news stories at the beginning about how games were running on the server side, that apparently Destiny was running at 1080p on medium settings and being upscaled to 4K and weird stuff like that.
Filth.
But it's still it's the service end of it that they've dropped the ball on, and that's the stuff that money does fix.
Yeah.
And so Google Stadia Pro is the sort of the paid service that everyone who has Stadia has right now.
Yeah, because
the
free one's not out yet.
No.
Exactly, yeah, and it titles you to free games. I was looking at what the new games for February are. They've just been announced. Metro Exodus, which is a good get.
Good game, yeah.
But it's been on services like Game Pass for a long time now. I played on Game Pass way back when. And Guilt, which is the Tequila Softworks game that came out at the launch of Google Stadia and is the only exclusive. So they've had complete control of that the whole time.
Yeah.
And on top of that, one thing I think I maybe knew but didn't really factor into this is that games leave that Pro service.
Yes.
So at the end of January, Samurai Showdown and Rise of the Tomb Raider are no longer going to be free. So if you get Google Stadia in February, you'll have Guilt and Metro, and the only other games on it will be Thumper, Farming Simulator, and Destiny.
So then you'll have to then pay the full price to keep the game and then keep paying the subscription in order to play it.
See, at least that's where Epic Game got it right. I think, where they say, hey, the game is for free now, but if you download it, that's yours.
Right.
Yeah. If you go on Google Stadia's Twitter right now, they are hyping up the release of Doom Eternal, which is something I can get behind because Doom Eternal is going to be fucking sick. But it is also a game that is not coming out until mid-March, and that is a desperate sign.
And it's not like it comes out in March and you can only play it on Stadia.
Nope, it comes out in March, and you can buy it on Stadia at full price.
Yeah.
there was one or two games where
to stream it.
But hold on, there was some games where it's like, oh, this is more expensive. I can't remember what it was, but it's like this is more expensive.
Yes, there was something. It was for some reason it was $10 more on. I can't remember the game, but you're right. There was something that was $10 more when it launched.
Well, they had the weird thing as well that if you've got the Pro one, which like you say at the moment you have to have, and you buy the game outright, and then you're paying your annual fee or monthly fee or whatever to keep it, you end up paying so much more than you would if you want to play one game anyway.
Yeah, but also like, if Google Stadia is failing and they shut it down and you've bought a game on it for full price,
you've lost your games.
You've lost your game.
It's the same as a lot of people don't realise. It's the same thing with like Apple Music though, and Google Music and all of that, and Amazon.
But the thing is,
if you've done all of those, admittedly, hopefully they won't shut those things down.
But they're established enough that they will never close down. Like, okay, so Games Pass. I know on Games Pass certain games also leave Games Pass.
Yeah.
But it's
but that's why I think people are getting more accustomed to services like Game Pass, and then on the other side of things, you're talking about Spotify and Netflix. So you're talking about like Apple, like something happens to Apple, people lose their iTunes library. If something happens to Spotify, I don't consider my Spotify library mine.
No.
I stream that music.
Yeah.
The Netflix library isn't mine.
Yeah.
The Game Pass library isn't mine. The Google Stadia games are mine because you're asking me to fucking pay for them.
Yeah,
and that is where they missed it.
It's like going onto Spotify, paying your Spotify subscription,
and
then like Eminem drops his fucking Music to Be Murdered By, which is an average album by the way, but then they say, oh, you can't stream it, you have to pay for it, and then you can stream it. And then if Spotify shuts down, then you're fucked.
See, that's why I think they completely messed up right at the beginning, because if they'd have gone for the Spotify model, the Netflix model, then they wouldn't have had that problem. And if games drop off and they said, by the way, just remember that this game will drop off in like 60 days or whatever, you got 2 months to play it, you couldn't complain.
It's mental.
And you know what? I honestly thought, I didn't think it would go as badly as it did for them. I always knew there was going to be a little bit of it, there were going to be teething problems, and that the real litmus test was going to be when it goes free, how many people sign up, and are people actually going to be happy to buy games when the service is completely free. But now there's been such negative word of mouth. And even when there hasn't been negative word of mouth, there's been no word of mouth because no one's talking about Stadia, because not enough people jumped in to actually be able to start conversations about it.
Yeah, you know that you said it got a bit quiet. Can I tell you why it got quiet?
Yeah.
So people logged onto their Stadia and they're like, oh, it's not working. I'll just switch on my PlayStation and play it there. Rather than saying, I'm so furious, I'm going to go on
Where the
Reddit
exact same games are, and they're probably cheaper.
But this is it. Look, so a lot of people are saying, oh, but it's cheaper than owning a console, whatever. But actually, if you buy a second-hand console, and sometimes they come with games, you can make a case for it. Like no one's outright gonna say, I'm never buying a console, at least not now, and say I'm just going to go for Stadia.
It's also not cheaper than a console, because if you buy a PlayStation 4 and you own it for 5 years, then you've paid, you pay 300 quid, whatever it is, for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
If you have a Stadia membership, which costs you £10 a month for 5 years, that's going to cost you like £700.
You can make a case for it.
I still maintain, and this is as being the person that's brought a negative Stadia story to the table, that there will be a point where Stadia gets a second chance to kind of put itself back out there and find a new audience, and that is kind of what we're talking about. I think there are a subset of people that don't buy enough games to feel that there's like inherent value in a console, and when you tell them, hey, Google Stadia, you don't need an account anymore, you don't need a premium account or a pro account, you just go in your browser or an app on your phone and you'll buy Call of Duty in one place, and all of a sudden you're playing Call of Duty on your phone, you're playing Call of Duty in Google Chrome, you're playing it through Chromecast on your TV or whatever, and it works everywhere and it runs okay. And that's when people...
You know what the issue with that is?
What?
Is as soon as you take that idea of what Stadia could be to the reality of what Xbox xCloud will be in the next few months, and you look and you say, oh, okay, Google Stadia, they've got like 5 games. Okay, cool. Oh, Xbox Games Pass, all the games in the world ever, and you can play it on your phone or on a PC or on an Xbox. Yeah, sure, I'll take that.
Yeah,
it won't be long until xCloud is like, yeah, you could play it in your browser.
Everything is moving toward a subscription model. Everything is. So
then it's a race. It's a race to say who does it better. Yeah. And Stadia aren't even doing it better than Nvidia.
Even when it's free, you said, even if it's free, and even if you don't need an account and you can just buy a game, people aren't. I can't see many people doing it, because you've still got your hand in your pocket.
It's the whole thing what Jamie was saying about Witcher 3 on Switch.
Yeah.
Why play it on the Switch when you can play it on your PlayStation?
And
why be hampered? I always used to say it with like Doom 2016, The Wolfenstein games, I was like, oh man, I really want to play them on the Switch. But then I thought to myself, but you know what? I don't want tendonitis and touching those fucking controllers.
Yeah.
Like, there gets to a point where there's no reason to play a certain game on a certain console because it doesn't make any sense. And Stadia, to me, there's nothing there that they can offer that, unless say I did not have any PC or any console whatsoever and I couldn't afford one, and maybe I could afford a monthly thing, then sure. But there's no reason for me to go Stadia over literally anything else. And there's no reason to go to Stadia over Nvidia or PS9.
Yeah, I honestly think this is the make or break year for Stadia already.
It's broken and they don't realize
because
it.
I think this is. I think you could well be right, but I wouldn't be surprised if I don't think the consoles coming out this year will be the last generation of consoles.
I don't think so.
But I think they'll be.
I think
the last time they'll be as important as they are.
I think
I don't think they'll be I think the chance that they'll put out another box, it just won't be as important.
Yeah, it might just be a box to say like, hey, this will play 4K instead of.
I'm going hardcore. This is the last.
Yeah, but you've been going hardcore for the last
5 years.
Coming up on 7 years, I'd say actually 7 years this year.
I've never said this will be the last generation of consoles.
No, but you put dates on it that will be wrong.
I've said.
But one of your dates was 2021. That's next year now.
I still think it could happen.
The PS5 is going to come out 1 month before the start of 2021.
No.
You are wrong.
The 2021 thing was that the cloud gaming would have a bigger market share than consoles.
Wrong.
So
wrong.
There's no
Wrong.
way.
I still think it can happen.
Oh, there's no
It is
way.
2020.
There's no way,
It is
Jamie.
it is 2020.
2 years to
It
the
is
end of
2020.
2021.
It is
2 years to the end of
2020.
21.
There are 150 million combined PS4s and Xbox Ones out there. Fuck knows how many
Do you know
Switches.
what we're going to have to wait and see, mate. We're going to have to wait and see.
Google just fucked it up coming into this market.
I was just about to
How's
say.
it going to swing that much?
I was just
You're
about to say
crazy.
that. I agree. Stadia's make or break year is this year. If by some miracle they realise how much they fucked up and they turn around and they say, and then you've got like a whole load of games are coming out toward the back end of the year. You've got, it's hopefully going to be a pretty good year for gaming in general. It's just obviously very dry at the moment. If they get to a point for Stadia where they say we've completely switched our model, it's £25 a month, you don't pay for any of the games, it is Netflix of gaming. Oh, by the way, you can pay 25 quid in this month and you will get bam playable day one when they all come out. I think that you will have some people who will then go, hold on, for 25 quid or 30 quid or whatever, I can play 3 to 4 of the biggest titles that have been released this year, and that's all I have to pay. And then, by the way, I can also...
You're not wrong. That's certainly appealing. But then you know what's going to happen is when you're going to sign up, there's going to be a little ad on the side there that's saying, "Hey, why don't you play Games Pass for $1 fucking for the month, and this gives you X, Y, Z." And then where are you going to go?
No, because you still need
xCloud.
When xCloud's a thing, you won't.
You don't need anything.
Well, you do it on a phone.
Yeah.
It's a stream. It would be streaming.
No, but I know, but it's why? How come it's only $1?
Games Pass is $1. xCloud might be more
if they
expensive.
but if they bundle xCloud into Game Pass Ultimate,
which is what for the first month, like $10 or something.
and it's like 16 rolling.
Yeah, for the first month. Yeah.
So there's going to be what it means. There's going to be a price point. But if Google figure it out, and if they can, so maybe Microsoft will do it before they do.
How they can compete. Because if
we've already said they've got the infrastructure, they've got the money, they've got the.
Let me put it this way: Microsoft
yeah.
Microsoft are far and ahead in the lead in terms of the where their services are at and what they're offering people, but they are not in the lead in any other capacity. They have won the hearts and minds; they haven't won the wallets.
Yeah.
Sony, who still are in charge in terms of console sales and oftentimes sales of exclusives and so on and so forth, market share, they are the least advanced when it comes to the offering of their services and the way it's structured.
Yeah, PlayStation
the swing
between the two of them.
The swing hasn't happened yet where the thing that people are really vocally happy about is the thing that's making more money. And I think the Xbox are probably taking a knock, have to be taking a knock when they say, hey, Gears 5 probably should sell 10 million units. Instead, we're going to put it on Game Pass day and date. You'd have to be crazy to buy Gears 5 or any other Xbox exclusive going forward. Sony haven't taken that hit yet. There's no way The Last of Us 2 will be free day one because they're not crazy. But Sony will have to adjust at some point.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, if Sony haven't adjusted yet, it does suggest there is still time for companies like Google to figure it out as well. Like, just because Xbox are doing it now doesn't mean that anyone that's not doing it yet is lost. Nintendo aren't doing anything yet, you know?
Well, yeah, but
People are falling behind Xbox, but they're not losing out for it yet.
No, and I agree with you. I think so. I think like Google, they might not figure it out fast enough, and they might just quietly put Stadia in the bin, which I could easily see happening.
Yeah, it's Google,
that's
right?
my prediction. That's my 2019 prediction that Stadia will not make it to 2020.
Do you know what?
I wouldn't put money on it.
Yeah, Stadia's not going to make it to 2021.
They'll figure it out. They'll make streaming service like games as a service. It will work really well. They'll put the money up and they'll do whatever, or they'll do what they did with the glass and they'll say, oh no, it's like a business to business thing and devs use it to test stuff out, and it's exactly. £300 a month, or
that's probably where they'll pivot it, because what you said actually makes perfect sense, right? And you say between what Sony is doing and between what Microsoft is doing, there actually is everything, every aspect of gaming is covered. So where does Google don't have any niche to fit in a way.
But for me, that's
they've got a few things, but like nothing that's going to push people.
But for me, you might as well be talking about like how Blockbuster and the Blu-ray market and DVDs had the like TV and video market sewn up, and Netflix were just like posting discs out to people's houses or whatever it was.
Yeah, but I think the
and
difference...
then suddenly they went, oh fuck, we can just use this new tech to do this.
The
and
difference
they blew
there,
everyone out. They destroyed businesses and companies.
The difference is there is they destroyed businesses and companies because those businesses and companies started to wane. Whereas there's no waning between Microsoft and Sony.
I think
so like let's put it this way.
Sony could be in trouble.
The PlayStation, the reason that the PlayStation like managed to go in there, if you think about it, is actually because of the demise of Sega, and there was no alternative. You had a Nintendo, and then what else? You're going to go for a failing Sega? No. So what Sony said is, hey, there's opportunity here. Let's come in.
Yeah, I think Jamie's largely right though, and the Xbox I think are going to be the ones who would come out on top soon. But I think Google, if Google played it right, they could almost like move into where you would expect Sony to move in if Sony are too slow on the uptake.
I think it's a fascinating point in the industry where everyone from professional analysts to gamers, for lack of a better way of putting it,
to idiots on podcasts.
Sure, like to idiots on podcasts are continuing to identify that services and ecosystems will determine success in the next decade of gaming.
Yeah.
And yet the people who are doing it best are not yet seeing the getting the results yet. Which I think a lot of it is because where we're at in gaming right now is steeped in the last 10 years of gaming, which is, in Sony's case, 7 years of being the biggest console manufacturer in the world. Yeah. But that could all change very quickly.
I do think I still come down to, I know you say it's madness to say like by the end of 2021 or whatever, but I do think that the day that something, not Stadia, I don't think it will be at all, but the day that a company 2 years after a console release say, you can't play this game any better than you can on our system, and the PlayStation will need to release their new PlayStation in order to play this that well. I think that consoles get in real trouble. And when you look at ages of consoles and hardware and things like that, they're going to have to be. They wouldn't. I don't think they'll be able to keep up.
No. I think you and me have been having this conversation for not only having it for a long time, but I think your stance is the weakest it has been in years. Simply because one of the biggest companies in the world has failed to do what you think they should be doing, and
but they have pedigree for failing to do what they should have done.
And because Sony and Microsoft are both going to go out there at some point in the next 2 to 3 months. Well, Microsoft have basically already done it. Sony are going to do it in the next month or two and say, here's the box that's going to be under your Christmas tree this Christmas.
Yeah. Weirdly for me,
it's going to cost $500 and it's going to be hot shit, and you're going to buy games on Blu-ray discs that go in this box, and you're going to be doing it for the next 10 years in the hundreds of millions.
That's so true.
Wrap up your thing, because we need to wrap this up.
We could go on for hours. I'm sorry,
I completely agree with you, and I think that will happen. But the interesting thing for me is, and now that you've put a time frame on it, I think when you think about it, the idea that by 2030 people would be we're getting all excited about the PlayStation 6 is so alien to me now, because if you go back 10 years and then you go back like 10 years, I do think this could be the last generation of consoles, because for me, if there is a console, the next time a console is released, it will be the size of a USB stick today, and it will be more like a Chromecast that you plug into your TV, and do you know what? You might win the argument by saying, hey, they've called it the PlayStation 6.
I think it will happen.
It will look nothing.
I think that's exactly what it'll be.
I don't think it'll even be cloud gaming. I just think it will be the fact that needing to own a certain console to play a certain game will not be the way it works now. whether it's because like Sony have committed to putting their exclusives on PC. Like basically everything will become more fluid, and people will realize what Microsoft have been realizing for the last couple of years, that getting people to sign up for services and buy your games in any capacity, getting people on board and in your ecosystem is what you want, not necessarily making $500 from them every 7 years. Which is why I think you're partly right. We're just, our timescales are different.
It's funny because you can see how Disney, Prime, Netflix, how all these companies are now doing the whole service thing, and you go, oh well, I want to watch the new Disney film, and now Disney have got their own service. It's
I think this is a conversation for another podcast.
Can I end the segment with a hot take?
Yeah.
Next big player to come into the streaming service game, Amazon, and it will be heavily tied to and associated with Twitch. To the point where all their streaming services come under the same banner. You're going to be watching people stream games on Twitch, and it's going to have a button at the bottom right saying "Start streaming now."
Well, because they already do it, don't they? Amazon already owns.
And they're going to get people to stream games on Twitch while they stream them on Twitch, and it's all going to be one big system.
Right. Well, anyway, some interesting things that we've discussed today, not just games, movies as well.
If you've made it this far, then congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
You win. It's like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
But yeah, we are interested in hearing your thoughts on these topics. So if you're watching on YouTube, just leave a comment down below. If you are listening on your podcast platform of choice, first of all, give us a 5-star rating because we deserve it. Thank you very much. But then get in contact on our social media, which is at SuperShow Pod, and let us know your thoughts.
What are we on? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook?
Just Twitter and Instagram.
Who's these? We're not grandmas.
Yeah, Facebook. Sorry.
Not Facebook. Jesus.
Anyway, and with that, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening, and we will see you next time. Next time.
We'll see you next time.
I fucked it at the end. See ya.
Bye.